Hey beloved, welcome to another peaceful faith-inspired story. What happens when the strong person finally breaks? Elena spent her whole life holding everything together. Her family, her marriage, her responsibilities, and everyone else's pain. But behind her quiet strength was a woman slowly drowning in silence. This is a powerful story about pressure, hidden struggles, heartbreak, and the life-changing power of surrender. And sometimes the moment we finally let go is the moment God begins restoring us. Stay until the end. Elena Matthews had spent most of her life believing that if she worked hard enough, prayed hard enough, and held everything together carefully enough, nothing would fall apart. And for years it seemed true. She was respected at church, admired at work, and dependable at home. The kind of woman people described as strong. But strength can become dangerous when a person never allows themselves to break. At 34 years old, Elena's life looked stable from the outside. She lived in a quiet suburban neighborhood with her husband Marcus and their 8-year-old son Caleb. Marcus owned a small construction company. Elena worked remotely as an accountant. Their home was beautiful. Their family photos looked perfect. Their Sunday smiles convinced everyone they were doing well. But behind closed doors, exhaustion had quietly moved into the house. Marcus had become emotionally distant over the years. Not cruel, not abusive, just absent in ways that slowly hurt more than anger. Every conversation became about responsibilities, bills, schedules, deadlines, and school pickups. Elena carried most things silently. When Marcus forgot anniversaries, she said nothing. When he worked late repeatedly, she stayed quiet. When loneliness settled heavily in her chest at night, she buried it beneath routines. Because somewhere inside, Elena believed surrender meant failure, and she refused to fail. Then came the phone call that changed everything. It was a Thursday evening in October. Rain hammered against the windows while Elena prepared dinner. Her phone rang unexpectedly. The hospital. Her younger sister Ava had been in a serious car accident. By the time Elena arrived, doctors were rushing through hallways while machines beeped endlessly around her. Ava survived, but the accident left her unable to walk temporarily. For months, Elena became her sister's caregiver, alongside managing her own family and work. Slowly, pressure began crushing her from every direction. Marcus grew frustrated with how much time Elena spent helping Ava. Bills increased, sleep disappeared, arguments became frequent. One night, Marcus exploded during dinner. "You can't save everyone, Elena." The room fell silent instantly. Caleb lowered his eyes toward his plate. Elena stared at Marcus, wounded. "She's my sister," she whispered. "And what about this family?" he snapped. Something inside Elena cracked quietly that night. Not loudly, not dramatically, just silently. Over the next few weeks, she began emotionally unraveling. She forgot meetings, burned meals, cried in bathrooms where nobody could hear her. Still, she kept trying to hold everything together until the night she found the letter. It happened while organizing old storage boxes in the garage after another argument with Marcus. Inside a dusty container sat a sealed envelope with her father's handwriting. Her father had died 12 years earlier from cancer. Hands trembling, Elena opened it carefully. Inside was a handwritten letter dated only weeks before his death. It read, "Elena, you have always carried the weight of the world on your shoulders. Even as a little girl, you believed it was your job to fix everything and protect everyone. But listen carefully to me. Some burdens were never meant for you to carry alone. One day, life will bring you to a place where your strength is no longer enough. And when that day comes, do not confuse surrender with weakness. Sometimes surrender is trust. Sometimes surrender is healing. Sometimes surrender is the beginning of peace. Love, Dad." Elena broke down completely. For the first time in years, she stopped pretending she was okay. That night, she sat on the garage floor sobbing uncontrollably while rain poured outside. And for the first time in her life, she prayed differently. Not polished prayers, not strong prayers, just honest ones. "I can't do this anymore, God." 3 weeks later, Marcus left temporarily after another major argument. He said he needed space. The silence inside the house became unbearable. Elena felt abandoned, angry, terrified. Church friends whispered carefully around her. Family members offered opinions. Some blamed Marcus. Others quietly blamed her. Everything felt like it was collapsing. Then came the second twist. One afternoon, Elena discovered Marcus had secretly been drowning financially for nearly a year. His business was failing. He had hidden loans, debt notices, legal warnings. He had been carrying fear alone while pretending to stay strong. Suddenly, Elena realized something painful. Both of them had been suffering silently in different ways. Both had been pretending. Both had been drowning. Both had been too proud, too exhausted, and too afraid to surrender their pain honestly. Weeks later, Marcus finally agreed to meet her at a small cafe near the river. Neither of them knew what the future held. Rain tapped softly against the windows while nervous silence sat between them. Finally, Marcus spoke quietly. "I didn't know how to tell you I was failing." Elena looked down. "I didn't know how to tell you I was breaking." For several months, neither spoke. Then Marcus began crying. Not the controlled tears of a composed man, real tears, the kind people hide for years. "I thought if I stopped holding everything together, everyone will fall apart," he admitted. Elena stared at him in stunned silence, because that sentence sounded exactly like her own heart. That conversation changed everything. Not instantly, not magically, but honestly. For the first time in years, they stopped performing strength for each other. Counseling followed. Hard conversations followed. Healing followed slowly. Some days were hopeful, other days painful, but surrender had finally entered their marriage. Not surrender to defeat, surrender to truth. Months later, Ava slowly learned to walk again through physical therapy. Marcus downsized his company and started rebuilding honestly instead of hiding problems. Elena reduced her workload and began rediscovering peace in small things: morning sunlight, quiet prayer, coffee on the porch, laughter with Caleb. One evening, nearly a year later, the family gathered outside watching the sunsets behind their home. Caleb ran through the grass with Ava, laughing while fireflies flickered around the yard. Marcus wrapped an arm gently around Elena and whispered, "You know what's strange?" "What?" she asked softly. "We spent years trying to control everything and nearly lost ourselves doing it." Elena smiled faintly. Then she looked towards the fading sunset and finally understood what her father meant. Surrender was never about giving up. It was about finally laying down the unbearable weight she was never meant to carry alone. And sometimes, the moment everything seems to fall apart is actually the moment healing begins. Maybe someone watching today feels exactly like Elena, tired, overwhelmed, trying to stay strong for everyone else while silently falling apart inside. But here's the truth: surrender is not weakness. Sometimes surrender is trusting God when you no longer have the strength to carry everything alone. And sometimes the breaking point becomes the turning point toward healing. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this message with someone who may need encouragement today. And remember, God never asks us to carry tomorrow's burdens alone. Just as 1 Peter 5:7 says, "Cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you." Until next time, bye-bye.